Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most unique books ever written. We're not just reading it, we're finding the hidden architectural plan behind the Gospel of John.
You know, if you've ever read the Gospels, you've probably felt this. John just hits different, right? It has this unique vibe, a totally different rhythm that can sometimes feel a little, well, confusing. But that's not an accident. It's completely on purpose.
Okay, so let's get into it. The key to cracking John's Gospel is to stop thinking of it as just a list of things that happened. You have to see the author as an architect, somebody who built this whole thing based on a very clear, very intentional blueprint.
And here it is. This is the blueprint, and it's actually pretty simple. You've got a prologue to start, an epilogue to finish, and the whole middle is split into two massive sections, the Book of Signs and the Book of Glory. Once you see this map, the whole book just clicks into place.
So it all kicks off in those first 18 verses, what we call the prologue. And this beautiful, poetic opening is doing way more than just introducing the main character. It's actually setting up the one central conflict that's going to drive the entire story. Get this. In two back-to-back verses, the author lays out the two roads the rest of the book is going to travel. On one hand, you've got rejection. On the other, you've got acceptance. And these two opposite reactions are basically a prophecy for the two huge sections that are about to unfold. So, how does this all play out? Well, the main body of the gospel is split perfectly down the middle into two distinct books, and each one has a totally different audience, a different style of content, and crucially, a completely different outcome. And this chart just makes it crystal clear. The first half, the Book of Signs, is for everybody. It's public, aimed at the world, and it's full of these massive public miracles. But what's the result? Unbelief. Then we hit the second half, the Book of Glory, and the whole thing flips. It's private, just for the disciples, it's all about intimate teachings, and it ends in belief. See the contrast? So let's zoom in on that first half, chapters 1 through 12, the Book of Signs. This is all about Jesus' public ministry. He's out there performing these incredible miracles, but the author doesn't just call them miracles. He specifically calls them signs, because every single one is meant to point to who Jesus really is. So after 12 chapters of these jaw-dropping public signs, what's the payoff? Well, the author gives us this one verse as a summary. It's the final report card on Jesus' public ministry, and honestly, it's pretty brutal. Despite everything they saw, they still did not believe in him. And that verse marks a massive pivot in the whole story. The public phase is officially over. It's like Jesus just closes the door on the crowds and turns all his attention to this tiny inner circle. I mean, think about it. His audience shrinks from thousands of people to just a handful of followers in a single room. And that brings us to the second half, the Book of Glory. The whole vibe changes. From chapter 13 on, everything gets way more personal, way more intimate. This is Jesus behind closed doors with his closest friends, getting them ready for what's about to happen, what the book calls his glory, his crucifixion and resurrection. Now remember how the first half ended on that downer note of unbelief? Well, the Book of Glory ends with the complete opposite. The author steps in and basically tells you the point of the whole book. It's not a summary of rejection, it's a direct invitation to believe. This is the positive outcome that was promised all the way back in the prologue. Okay, so we've seen the blueprint, we've seen the two halves, and we've seen the totally opposite endings. But so what? Why does knowing all this matter? How does it actually change how we read the story today? Well, the structure is everything. It shows us that this isn't just a biography. It's a brilliantly constructed argument. The author is taking us on a journey, first to show us how big, flashy public signs often fail to create real faith. And then he shows us what does, a more personal, intimate revelation. The way the story is built is the message. So the next time you open up the Gospel of John, you won't just see a random collection of stories anymore. You'll see the blueprint. You'll see the intentional design of an architect, and you'll realize the entire book has been crafted to ask you one single, powerful question. When you're faced with Jesus, which path will you choose? The world's rejection or the disciples' belief?